the Water Institute, with our roots in the Gulf, flooding is a real thing for the communities here. It's a real challenge that we face. There are storms, some of the monumental storms that people think about that have affected many lives, the way that we plan and prepare for the future. There are some events like Hurricane Katrina that those events were largely a single form of flooding. It was storm surge overwhelming a system. The reality is that is not the only concern in terms of flooding.
Compound flooding, as we understand and focus right now, is the occurrence of a rain event during or close to a coastal surge event, a coastal storm with concurrent rainfall or coincident rainfall, and a severe rain event during a less severe coastal storm. That combined impact is what we generally refer to as compound flooding right now, and that is what we're focusing on, and assessing how that combined impact results in potentially extreme flood depths than if the events occurred separately.
With the realities of storms like Hurricane Harvey in the Gulf or Hurricane Florence, there are more and more events that have not only severe storm surge, but heavy rainfall. And the combination of those can be very deadly, they can be very damaging to environments, to communities. These compounding effects are not well understood for many reasons. Some of it is lack of data, observation data. One of the other big challenges is, we call it non-stationarity, but the changing effects. So the data we might have from decades ago is not representative of the conditions we have today and the conditions we anticipate moving forward. Lastly, we think about often designing for optimal things, optimal economic decisions, or optimal sizing for a cost standpoint. And a lot of times compound flooding is more of a black swan. It's at the tail of a curve, and it's something that we have to not plan for to account for in every way, but we have to plan for in terms of the worst case.
We've been working collaboratively with academia and multiple government agencies at the federal and state levels to figure out the best available tools we can deploy to better understand and develop data that incorporates compounding events. The tool that we developed as a result of this collaboration is called FloodID.
The models used for forecasting in coastal communities are very generalized, and they all have their own specific interfaces that they need to run up to. By combining the different models through a unified framework and allowing decision makers to access things through a common platform, they can get access to multiple different models, each of which might be the best available for that particular event to make the right decision. FloodID isn't set up just to look at single types of events. It's generated to look at all the possible events that can happen for an area. Our goal with FloodID is to help the emergency managers have the information they need to make better decisions, which ultimately helps the residents during these times of crisis.